So we are in Anastasia Hanns kindergarten classroom. We just finished the flip, so I just want to keep folks in mind that it's just the structural piece is done. There's still more details and putting some supplies away, but you guys will get the idea. So Debbie, you want to start us off?
Yeah, so I love what Marissa said, that this is just the structural part of it, but we're really looking at what the areas are, what the students will be doing, and I think that Anastasia has a really nice flow in her classroom here. But we started here, this is a take apart center. There is going to be some things for them to take apart, some of the tools to do that. There is clipboards there to, just as a reminder that children might draw either what they think they're gonna see inside, or they might draw about what they actually see in there. But there also will be writing tools as well as the tools for taking things apart, maybe putting them back together again. And also a place to keep leftover parts. So when the children take something apart, they take a screw out, there's a place to keep that. Much later in the year, children might want to start putting things back together, and so this can kind of flip to a put things together area as well, which is fun to do, maybe in January or February. And then moving over to here, this is a science area. One of the things that's not here yet that I think is going to really add to it as well is Anastasia's going to put a mirror right there, which I just think will brighten the area, and I think the children will find that interesting, as well as we know they like to look at themselves when they're in kindergarten.
I don't mind my water jug there.
That won't be here in September, right? But there's just an example of how there might be some observational drawing here. Marissa went out this morning and just found nature that's right here around the school.
Yeah.
And there were some flowers, there were some rocks, there's journals, which are just copy paper folded in half and stapled together. There's also these frames that the pieces of nature can be put so children can look carefully at it that way as well. Probably there'll be an addition of some magnifying glasses, more writing tools, things like that. And then there's a shelf to support science as well. So you see more of the journals, there's some measuring things, there's writing things, there's going to be some informational books there as well. There's a bit of a bookshelf, a small bookshelf. There'll be more books that are related to science there, as well as there might be some clipboards and writing tools to work with. This science area very intentionally faces the math area. Marissa, was there something you wanted to add about science?
The table that we used, I know I'm going to get questions about that, and we talked about a different use for the horseshoe table, and we get questions about how do I do small groups then?
Right.
And
yes.
For some reason, we just connected to this table.
Yeah, we're often very used to being that the teacher sits there and conducts her small group. And so one of the reasons that we are moving away from that is this idea that we're all working together and that the children are supporting each other, everyone has ideas, rather than everyone looks at the teacher for information and the teacher is the sole dispenser of that kind of information. So clearly small group instruction still needs to go on. So there's many tables throughout the classroom. There's also a large group area that could be used. Children can come and sit around there as well. And so definitely small group will still be happening, but not just at one table designated just for that.
Yeah.
Why don't we go ahead and move right over to math, since I started mentioning that already. So again, next to the science area, back to back, is a math area as well. And part of the reason for that is that there's so many shared tools. So there's some measuring tapes, there'll be other kinds of things that will be used both in science and in math. And they'll be adding some different kinds of collections. So those shelves there may have rocks or pine cones or leaves or whatever kinds of things are relevant to the children and their lives here.
And here we'll be adding some different manipulatives to each drawer.
Anastasia has lots of different kinds of manipulatives, so it's going to be nice that children can go there and choose what they want to use, especially as they're trying to problem solve it. They can make use of whatever makes sense to them. There will be some more math manipulatives on that bottom shelf. There are some puzzles that have to do with seriation of size, as well as numerals and recognition of that as well. Yeah. And then that is back to back with part of the literacy area. So again, there's so many tools that are shared through all areas. So there's going to be writing implements up here. There may be paper, journals, things like that, that the children might use for literacy. Or they might go, you know what, I need that to write about what I've done in math today. So that will be shared. These bottom shelves are for manipulatives that have to do specifically with math. But the top shelf, again, is going to be tools that will be used for both sides. Which just here's another the table that is being used specifically for literacy. And again, it has some of those tools, but it also has an opportunity to be able to, there's going to be books in these bins that are down here. There is this incredible Dr. Seuss chair that Anastasia has. I love the shoes that are on the feet, on the legs of the chair. And this is going to be when Anastasia reads to children, she might sit in that chair. As opposed to sitting on the rug, which might be more the community building time. And but children might also sit on that chair. It's sort of a
Yes, I will let kids sit there.
Because they might be the readers that day, or it may be a book that they've written themselves. And so this rug area is going to be used in different ways. Sometimes children will be sitting around the outside so that they can all see each other and talk as a community that way. But other times they'll gather together so they can better see the pictures and talk there. Connected to this area, and I know we weren't planning to go quite this way yet, but connected to the literacy area is also, or part of it, is going to be this writing area that's over here. And so it's very neat because there's this built-in desk. So an idea, Anastasia's going to get some stools so the children can sit up a little bit higher on the chairs and do writing there. There will be tools for making books, which are staplers and hole punchers and brads, things like that.
There's some nice little publishing.
A little publishing area, absolutely. And I think children can really learn to make their own journals, to be writing in when they need those, which
I want to mention the tray here. We just wanted to put a spot to save this area here for the docu-cam so that the children, you don't start to pile things on and the children know that this is where you want to put your book display.
Or maybe they're going to explain how they solved a math problem.
Yeah.
And so they know that that's a designated area for that, and that they are the ones who are talking about it at that point. This whiteboard is going to be used as a word wall.
Yes.
And there will be part of the wall will be though designated for things that are projected when that's necessary. So about a third of it will be word wall, and then the last third will be word wall as well. And it's going to be an interactive word wall because this is magnetic. So Anastasia's going to put a magnet on the back of index cards so that if a child needs a certain word, they can get it, take it to whatever it is that they're writing, and then return it to the wall.
And I think it was Sandy, one of the other teachers helped us. We had 2 additional teachers that came out to help us today, and one of them was mentioning putting like tape on
Paper wasping,
just a wasp,
really marking
where it projects so that you know how much space you have on the end, which I thought that was a really great
That's
tip.
a really good idea. And it may even be that, it only goes to here, and so you have this space as well to be able to write things. Also, too, we talked about there will be the schedule of the day in pictures of the students who are in the class, so we'll run around along the bottom part right there to help students with that. And now we're moving into more of the literacy area, where there is going to be a listening center, and there are some characters from books here. Anastasia really likes Dr. Seuss.
As you can tell.
Yes.
So there are characters from that, and there will be stories, and they'll be able to listen to it. There are some letter puzzles. This is going to be mounted up a little bit higher here, and there are felt board story pieces that the children can use. Oh, good. Right? Yeah, right here.
So that it'll be easy for them to grab and go ahead
and I'm already seeing that there's pieces from well-known children's songs like Five Little Ducks and
Three Little Pigs.
Yeah, excellent. Speaking of Three Little Pigs, there's a couple of puzzles that are related to children's story, the Three Little Pigs and Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Is that the other one? And then there's also just some word work in some of the baskets that are below there, some matching, and they're self-correcting for the students. And then this is a file cabinet that has a lot of things that need to be here. That's also doubling as a magnetic wall. This basket is for children's names, which is in the beginning of the year so important to them. And then a clip where a child could put a name in the clip and then recreate it with the letters. And I think this is such a neat idea, this bin here that has the letters all divided, and there's an example of uppercase and lowercase, and I think that's going to just be really helpful for the students. This little piece of carpeting is to help designate this is a place for someone to work, so that they understand that and see that as a workspace. Here is the beginnings of a safe place. So this lovely mesh is going to go on there. She's going to get like
a wreath holder.
A wreath holder,
something
yeah.
that will hold it up. It won't be up real high, but there is some shelving here with some stuffed animals, a puzzle that the child might want to do.
We might also put some stress balls.
Yes, the
or
fidget
fidget
tools.
spinner.
Yes.
The fidget
Yeah.
tools.
There could be some hints about breathing exercises and things to do that can sometimes help people who are in this area. She's also going to put
A laundry basket.
Yes.
and
So
with
that
a
they can
pillow.
sit in there.
Yeah, so it'll help define this area. But the other thing that we did was we purposely put this here to help define that it's an enclosed area for the children to come to, and just use
person's
some
spot. Yeah.
just use some tape there. This is a whiteboard across here. Before we go into the kitchen area, though, I did want to point out that there's a puppet stage for retelling stories and making stories up. This is going to be cut. It's just to help it stand up. But you have this lovely puppet
And
stage
right here, they can grab the puppets that they want to use.
Yeah.
and tell a story. Plus all kinds of big books. And it's so nice to have big books by the rug so children can plop down and really make use of them. Yeah.
And on the other side, we also have some whiteboard markers right here, so that if they would like to write something, they can, or write the show times for their puppet show. They can do any of that.
And then in this kitchen, and this is a handcrafted kitchen, because at this point, Anastasia really wanted to have a stove and a sink, and so we took some cardboard boxes and cut circles. Those will be probably with a clear contact paper. It was painted, and this is just, I won't take it all the way out, but it was just a hole cut in the top of this box so that children can wash the dishes after they have made a meal.
And I used to use these hooks for the backpacks, but now we can hang different spoons, pans, aprons, mittens, towels, whatever.
All the things that really make a kitchen a kitchen. She put a clock so that children are able to see this. Actually, it's working. This will go up. This is just a nice place to put pictures, notes, things like that as well. And using more of the hangers for hats and bags, things like that. Some baby dolls are going to be added here, so they're put on shelves, and then the children can come and get them and use them as they want.
And also right here,
Go ahead.
I will be adding some accessories, so it can be some clothes for the dolls, maybe some necklaces, purses, anything that they would like to use in those drawers.
And then labeled so the children know what goes in every drawer. And then here, this is going to have a dual purpose. So it's the desk area for the people who are in the house, and so writing and things like that. Do you want to talk about the possibility of snack?
So what we were talking about is maybe having some saltine crackers and maybe some water for the kids that just need something to eat during the day. They know that they can come here. It's always accessible. They can sit here and maybe have a little spray bottle that they can use to wipe this down when they're done for the next person to come and maybe some crackers and water.
It's to help with that food insecurity piece that we work with most of our children. Dr. Garcia stopped by today and was giving us some more ideas.
But nice just to have for them to use whenever they like. And here is the block area and some really creative uses of how to make a block area when you don't have the standard unit blocks and things. So one of the things that's going to happen is when the children start school, Anastasia's going to ask for boxes, just empty boxes, to be brought in. She had a few already here. And there'll also be masking tape and things like that, and children can just construct. And so they will build as they see fit in this area with boxes, shoe boxes, whatever, sort of boxes of all different kinds of sizes that can be put together for that. And then there was a shelf with anything that we thought could be used in terms of building. There's cars, and we're going to add a parking lot by putting tape that will distinguish that there is 9 places for 9 cars, so it makes it really easy to see if there's any cars that need to make their way back to the parking lot. There are writing tools in the area as well. We'll add some masking tape too, so if children need to make a sign for something or have a message that needs to be given. And then we found some other things that are typically put with math, but they work in the block area as well, different kinds of shapes to build with. These actually came off of the bottom of a table that you'll see in a minute, and how great to have these in blocks as well. And Anastasia may actually
Probably added some Tinker toys.
Yes.
and probably talking to the shop
Yes.
at the high school.
About possibly making some different shapes for us for the kids to use.
And then this is our Lego table. We talked about in the middle here, Dr. Garcia gave us some really great ideas. So I know a lot of you guys have this bin of endless Legos, these little tiny pieces. And so what we talked about was using maybe some like canning jars and putting like in each canning jar maybe all of the little heads, or all of the little bodies, so that the kids aren't having to,
Go through the whole
go
bin to
through
find
the whole
them. Sure.
bin.
Yeah, and they can all sit in here, so they're easy to grab. They want to get the heads, they can get the jar with the heads or bodies, whatever they want.
So not all the pieces will be sorted that way, but those
No.
pieces that are so prized and hard to find, and it gives them
And
that
have
opportunity
the
to
kids sort it, teachers, okay? This is not for you to add this to your plate, but the kids are gonna, have them do it too.
And we have some more baskets if we want to add some
Additional,
blocks.
The one part that we didn't see too well yet is the art area, which is next to the literacy area, next to the writing and publishing area. But this, Anastasia has this great shelving unit, and the top part is going to be for her things, teacher things, and she will put a curtain with a tension rod probably across there. But these shelves that they can reach, the children can help themselves to what is here. There's a great sink, always nice to have a sink in the classroom, and probably using soap
Soap dispensers for the paint, so the kids can easily squirt some paint into a little.
So they will be able to come over, take their cups, add paint to it, and grab some paintbrushes. They will be able to use this table, or maybe they'll take things to the easel at that point. And also there's a lot of nice counter space that'll be able to be used for different kinds of art materials as well as writing and publishing materials. So yeah, that's the classroom. Can you get us an overview of all of it?
Overview. And I'll post the before images as well. Yay! How do you feel?
I feel overwhelmed, but great, because it is gorgeous and it's a great starting point. I'm excited.